Okay. That welt on Joanna's head, she's starting to look like one of those aliens from Star Trek, like with that thing on her forehead. She's starting to look like this dude right here. Look at that. Look at that thing on her head. Man, her forehead is bad. Yo, welcome to the show. Tonight we preview UFC on ABC 1, Holloway versus Kattar. Weed legalized in the UFC. And Nate Diaz is going to come back in 2021. Who do you want to see Nate Diaz fight? Ringside Report MMA is now live. Yo, what's up? Guys.
What's up, man?
Guys, the fights are back. It's fight time.
Lucia.
It's
2021,
happening.
man.
What?
It's Conor time.
Yeah, but,
Well,
I mean, we've been waiting for so long.
Corona.
When's the last time we had a fight card? We got fights this weekend. And on Wednesday, next Wednesday, there's fights. I mean, this is pretty exciting. The last time the UFC was doing fights, it was December 19th, 2020, which feels like forever ago. How many Saturdays do we have to sit through? 1, 2, 3. Only 3, but it feels like so much more, right? Feels like so long since we've seen some fights. And this weekend we've got Holloway versus Kattar, and we don't have to wait long because it's an afternoon card.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Almost forgot. You're right.
Right? Prelims are at noon. Main card is at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. UFC on ABC for the first time ever. And we're going to preview that
KFC.
card. What?
Well, if you're going to watch UFC on ABC, you might as well do like an afternoon with some KFC. Come on, Dave.
I guess. I mean, do whatever you want.
It's a
UFC on ABC, Holloway versus Kattar. We're going to do it. Preview the card, give you our picks here on the show. Our picks brought to you by Bet99.com.
Bet99, man.
And we'll give you some betting odds from Bet99 and try to win you some money as well for Saturday afternoon. Like I said, noon Eastern for the start of the prelims, 3 p.m. Eastern for the main card. Weed has been legalized in the UFC. That's kind of a big deal. You can now smoke weed as a UFC fighter. We'll talk about that. And Dana White says he's got a big fight coming up for Nate Diaz. Freddie, what you're excited about that? What's going on?
I just said as much as you want. Like there's no limits, no nothing. Like
yeah, I think
if you want like 5 minutes before the fight, you could go out.
I don't think you can do that, but I think it's pretty much. They might not have a way to stop you. It's possible.
Good.
It seems like there's no problem for. I mean, they don't want you smoking weed right before. It's like they don't want you drinking right before. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of test, but any kind of trace amounts or whatever, no longer a problem if you're a UFC fighter, which I think makes a lot of sense. If you can go out drinking the night before a fight and have no problem, why can't you smoke a joint the night before a fight? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really see the issue there. And I've never really seen the issue there. And now that weed is a legal substance in our home country here of Canada and has been for a couple of years now, and weed becomes more and more accepted and legalized across many states in the United States, it seems like just a matter of time before this happened and the UFC legalized weed, right? Just a matter of time.
Well, you know what, Dave? I mean, we've been talking about this for like years, especially you guys. You're two advocates and professionals and gurus of like the weed of hemp. You're professional hemp like scientists, I guess you would call it. But
I wouldn't call it.
You guys
that.
know it. Well, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. You could.
Fred, would you call yourself a professional hemp scientist? I wouldn't call myself a professional hemp scientist. That's not what I am.
My Twitter bio says I'm a marijuana advocate. So
I don't even think you're not though. You're just a guy who smokes weed. You're just a guy who likes weed. You don't really advocate for it in any way.
No, I do. Tell me what's wrong with you, and I'll tell you why you should smoke weed.
For any problem, right?
Deep rest, smoke weed. Your knee hurts, smoke weed.
Or do jujitsu, right? Weed or jujitsu. Either way, it's like, those are the answers to all of life's problems, according to Fred.
They go together, man.
Yeah, they do go very well together, right? Yeah, but it just kind of makes sense, right? It's something that we've talked about being weird.
2020 New Year, you need weed, man. There's so many things that you need weed for, and I agree with you. I wasn't like, I don't smoke weed, but I've seen some really good, like, positive things about weed, and then, like, and I'm gonna get back to what you were saying with the UFC, like legalizing it or allowing it in the as part of the substances allowed now for UFC fighters. They're allowed to use it, but they cannot use it the day of. That's all they care about, is if you're using it the day of and going into a fight and you have weed or somehow or another, I guess it impairs you or it enhances your fighting abilities, then you will be suspended. But they don't give a shit now if you've been doing weed for weeks before, as long as you don't do it in the day of, because you guys know it better than I do. And I know we talked to, like, Ellis Teodoro, we talked to Kung Fu Panda. They knew weed, man, like they were experts on weed knowledge. But the thing is this, is that somehow or another, if you smoke it weeks ago, it'll still show up in your blood count. But they have some way to know that it's not the day of that you smoke the weed. So, I mean, this is a big step. But, like, does it make a huge difference? I mean, I texted, like, Elias Theodoro earlier. I was hoping he could come on the show. But I think he's still, like, weeded out. Maybe he'll come in next week. But he says that at least it's a huge step in the right direction to fight the stigma of medical cannabis, which he's allowed to, because in BC, he has an exemption to use, like, medical marijuana. And that's the thing. But he says that they're still going to flag you. Like, any minute that you mention you use, like, weed for medical reasons, you're flagged in the UFC. So, like, that's... I mean, I don't know how the Diaz brothers do it, because it's not medical, obviously. I mean, these guys just smoke weed all the time. So right now, I mean,
Well, Nick tested positive and got, like, a suspension for a while, right? Like, things happen. They did have problems. Fred, I was just not going to interrupt AJ there, and I was wondering how long he would go, before he would stop talking, and... I realized,
I'm talking weed, man.
AJ, I realized that when you get going, there's no end. Like, unless we interrupt him, Fred,
because
I swear, unless we interrupt you, AJ, you would go on for the whole show, I think. It would be pretty good.
Man, not at all. Because I was coming down to the end of what Elias wrote here, and that's all. That was the end of my thing, man. I don't know weed as much as you guys. You guys are pros at it. Like, I mean, you guys are like Cheech and Chong levels. But the thing is this, is that if it's allowed, I honestly, I had no problems with weed in the UFC, because I knew that it's an anti-inflammatory. And in fact, like, from people that had Parkinson's and whatnot, like, doctors were saying, like, weed is the best thing for you. And I can base that because...
No doctor ever said weed is the best thing for you.
No, they said for the brain. For
certain things, but not like in general.
Like really good.
Doctors, 4 out of 5 doctors recommend weed as a cure-all.
I bet you 4 out of 5 doctors are smoking weed. I can assure you that.
Well, if 4 out of 5 doctors are Fred, he'd be recommending it. Yeah.
2 fake, smoke weed. Anything, smoke weed.
Shout out to Johnny North, Lauren Cronish, Yukon Cornelius, Jason Pete, all on the chat. Jason Pete
for Yukon, man.
Jason Pete, a member of the team, making a good point. He says, what sucks is that when Nick Diaz got suspended for 5 years, they suspended Brock Lesnar for steroids for 1 year retroactively, and that's true, like, weed for a while was treated pretty badly, and there was a time when Nick Diaz had to fight for his career, and he did get suspended a couple of times and got years taken away from his career because of weed. And I think that's, it was a travesty of justice back then, and you think about it now, it's absolutely ridiculous, and the more and more weed is legalized, like I said, across the world in different jurisdictions, the more we realize, like, whoa, it's strange to think that it was illegal and you weren't allowed to kind of have it around we've had it in Canada now for a couple of years in a legal way, and nothing has really changed. Society hasn't degraded. Nothing has gone terribly wrong. And as a guy who likes to smoke weed, I could say that, you can just find weed easier, and it's just better. It's a nicer experience, right? You don't have to look over your shoulder all the time. And I haven't noticed any kind of major problems, Fred. Have you?
Nope.
Seems
Weed.
like a positive.
Come on, weed
AJ,
is like,
as a non-weed smoker, how do you
Look,
think the rollout of legalization has gone in Canada? It seems like it's gone great. Everything's been
listen,
fine.
man, I've never seen. Look, during this COVID curfew, we have a curfew here in Quebec. So for everybody listening elsewhere, we have a curfew that starts at 8 o'clock. That means you can't walk the streets after 8. You're done. You'll get ticketed, whatever. But
I
before
can.
8 o'clock, if you no, you can't.
No, I can.
Why?
I have a special permit, bro. I'm special.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because Dave works for
Don't worry about it.
Radio Networks.
Let's
He's
just
a
say-
big wheeler, and he walks his cat. So
he
the
works
thing
for
is
the
this.
propaganda machine.
That's right. I work for the
But
evil
anyways,
corporation.
But where I'm getting at is the lineups to get to the weed stores, man. What are the SAAQs?
SQDC.
I mean, oh, is that what it is? Okay.
SAAQ is for the cars.
Whatever, man. There's some S in there. But the thing is that the
There's an
lineups
S.
are insane, man. I've never seen lineups. If every store can have lineups that weed stores have, man, we'd be rolling in the economy. But that's the thing, man. Before 8 o'clock, man, weed is out of control. But what I'm getting at is, does weed make you a better jiu-jitsu fighter? Do you find that it'll make you better when you're fighting? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Does it take off the nerves of fighting?
I think it
I
can.
mean, I don't do it when I do jiu-jitsu, but I know guys that I was rolling with and smell the weed big time,
yeah.
and they were actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
So
if you're a
I'm just
guy
wondering.
who regularly smokes weed, I think it can help you because it's just kind of, going along with what you normally do, right?
Also with there's a lot of reaction. So I don't know, me when I do jiu-jitsu, I take my glasses off and I become sort of blind. No, seriously, I really don't see much without my glasses. So I just sometimes I'll roll and people are like, why you have your eyes closed? And I'm just feeling it because probably high and enjoying the sport.
Yeah. I think
until you get your arm broken.
I think maybe with the creativity, you might see more openings and see, find arm bars with different entries that you normally would get them, But maybe for the cardio, I think
Look,
it
I'm
might
gonna-
affect the cardio. It might enhance the creativity with your fighting. So who knows what it might do for the UFC? It might, I don't think it's an issue. Guys aren't going to be smoking before a fight, right before. But, if I were fighting in the UFC and my fight was at 11 o'clock at night, I'd probably smoke my last joint around 5 o'clock, right, Fred? What do you think? If you were fighting in UFC, you'd probably smoke a number around 5, right? If you were fighting and you knew your fight was at 11, you'd probably have maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon if you're nervous. But say you fought 10 times in the UFC. I mean, 10 times in the UFC, 20 times. If you're John Jones, you could smoke a joint, 45 minutes before your fight and probably kick some major ass. You know what I'm saying? It depends who you are and how much weed you smoke and what kind of weed you're smoking and how confident you are in your weed smoking and fighting abilities combined. I mean, it depends on a lot of things, It's hard to tell.
Look, I'm gonna tell you a story.
Hold on. Get to Fred. He's the expert here. Hold on, AJ.
Go, Fred.
I was going to say, I try to have a nap from 5 to 7, and then you wake up around 7, go with a hot tea, smoke a joint around 8, and you're ready to fight at 10, man.
There you go. See?
Yeah, but you can't. The day of, that's what they're trying to say, is that you can't smoke the day of.
Yeah, but
But listen, I can't say weed and fighting, but I can tell you one time I was out and I was having I had a lot of wine, man, like a lot. So much that when I walked into the gym, I remember Fabio goes he goes, Tony, you smell like booze. I'm like, yeah, Fabio, I had some wine. That day was probably the best jiu-jitsu I've ever done in my life. I mean, I tapped everybody out, man. I was just like a rock star. And I remember Fabio when when I was leaving, he's like, you know what, keep drinking. But the thing is that, yeah, maybe it takes that edge off and whatnot. There's no doubt about it. But it's not going to enhance your skills per se. It's just like you're more relaxed. When you're more relaxed, you're not as stiff when you fight. You just have that free flow in a sense. Like there's like really like that no fear. But that's from like the drinking part, which I don't advise. Do not do that. Do not do that. But weed, man, I like after listening to like Kung Fu Panda and listening to Elias when they were like professional fighters in the circuit and talking about weed and how it helps them. And for Elias, it's more of a medical issue and whatnot. Look, I've got no problem with that. But like, I mean, if you're doing like cocaine and doing like lines of cocaine before a fight, I mean, there's a problem, aka John Jones. But that's it. Dave,
He's
go
still
back.
going, Fred. He's still going. I just put it on AJ
first,
cam.
listen.
I just go full screen AJ just to see, and then I just let you go, and I just wonder how long is this going to go on for? This is a game for me. I don't know if you guys are enjoying this, but I'm enjoying it. Just watching AJ go on and on and on.
Listen, I gotta just say one thing to Yukon, man. Yukon he put out something. He says, "I'm drinking the wrong beer." Tonight's show is all about this. I said last week, because I was wearing my Armenia T-shirt, soccer jersey, I said this week I'm gonna wear Ireland for Yukon, and I'm gonna drink beer for Mexico for Jason. So I'm trying to be fair, man. I'm PC, Dave. Us PC guys, we're fair with everybody. Kind of like Pat Militek. I'm sorry.
Domestic terrorist, Pat Miletich. Anyways, moving on. So it looks like UFC fighters are going to be able to continue smoking weed. I don't want to talk about the Pat Miletich thing, AJ, because Pat Miletich. Okay, we're not going to talk about it, but I'm going to tell you why we're not going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it, but we're not going to talk about it, okay? Because I don't want us to get kicked off YouTube, man. Like, I don't want to get impeached.
I just want to tell PFL I'm not going to watch your show, but it has nothing to do with Pat Miletich.
Wasn't it Legacy Fighting? It wasn't even PFL.
No,
it's not even PFL. I'm not watching Legacy, even less.
Legacy Fighting Alliance or something. Some sort of...
the Legacy Fighting Alliance, the LFA.
Yeah, thank you.
It.
Yeah, that's who Pat Miletich was working for. Pat Miletich used to fight in the UFC. He was a coach for a while as well.
One of the best coaches.
Yeah, he's a MMA legend, and he lost his job for Legacy Fighting because he was seen at the riot
MAGA
on
rally.
Capitol Hill. I think it's a riot, officially called a riot.
Well,
Some people
I
are
think
calling
they call
it
it peaceful protest nowadays.
A peaceful protest. When 5 people die, I don't think you can still call it a peaceful protest.
It's mostly peaceful protest.
Mostly peaceful, except for the death. So that's why I don't want to talk about it, because we have differing opinions on all of that on the show, and AJ's opinions, funnily enough, might get us kicked off YouTube. So I just don't even want to go there.
We love you, Donald.
And you say it's me. Listen, man. Listen, man. It's journalistic news, man. People want to know, man. We're not like the rest of those shows that they hide shit because they're getting paid by whoever, like to promote certain things. Us, we say things like it is. The universe says it as it is.
I know.
What's that?
I'm a troublemaker, and you would think that it's you guys that are the troublemakers. I got one of my shows, my podcast, canceled this week because I'm causing too much mischief, bro.
Come on, are you serious?
What got canceled?
Irreparable damage?
Irreparable damage has caused irreparable damage. It's over. And I can't say very much more. And it's not me. It's not because of me. It's because of Joey. Joey.
What?
It's canceled because of Joey.
Damn.
It's over.
Now I'm interested.
The show is over.
Yeah.
The show is done.
I want to listen to it.
Now
done.
Now I want to listen to it.
Not necessarily because of anything we said, but just to say that for all of you that were enjoying, we had a very small audience. For all of you that were enjoying that irreparable damage show, it is done. It's maybe on hiatus, possibly, but I'm going to say...
What the hell?
Nail in the coffin, done, over. That show is dead in the water.
Well,
there would have been a new...
How come
There would have been a new episode dropping today, but it didn't drop because the show has been assassinated. It's been assassinated by greater powers,
By who?
higher
YouTube?
powers, not because of me,
Nope.
not YouTube.
Censorship.
But not... I can't really go
Madonna-
into it.
Madonna found out about your show and she got insulted?
I've been told not to go into it, not to say too much, but let's just say that the show has been canceled. It's done irreparable damage to somebody, not me. Not me. It didn't do irreparable damage to me because, as you can see, I'm still on YouTube and I'm still doing
But somebody
shows.
got doxxed?
You might not see. No. You might not see my buddy Joey on YouTube ever again. I invited him on this. I invited him to come on this show and explain why irreparable damage has been axed, but he has refused the invitation. I don't think he's gonna come on. He might come on one day,
Free Joey.
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
Joey has been barred. Joey has been locked. Joey's hands are tied, basically. Joey's been handcuffed. Joey's been censored. Joey has been stopped and thwarted, and that's why irreparable damage has died. I might bring it back as some sort of rebellious podcast, but probably not. I think it's dead. Without Joey, he was the driving force behind that show. That show that I had going, it has been murdered, assassinated.
But wait. Hold on a sec. Isn't Joey like a Canadian journalist as well? Like he does stuff for like Canadian journalism. I see his name coming out.
Yeah, why do you think the show got...
You don't understand.
So maybe Fred's conspiracy stuff is true, man. Now I'm a believer. Wow. Send a message to Donald Trump.
Maybe it's because he admitted to going on a Florida vacation a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he did mention that.
Did he quarantine? If
Yes.
he didn't quarantine,
He
he's
did.
dumb.
He did.
Okay.
But you know what?
If you're
You see,
going to
now
admit
that's-
that and not quarantine.
And he got tested. So
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. You know, you guys blocked me from saying a lot of important stuff from MMA world where most people want to know. Like, does George like UFOs? Yes.
By the way, I know who George gets his hair done by.
really?
What?
Small story.
Tintin.
Yeah, it's just a small world, but I actually know the hairdresser.
Oh wow. Are you gonna get your hair done similar to George so you could get the Tente
Is
look?
it a guy or
Guys,
a girl?
I don't know
Right,
if you
first off.
noticed, but I'm growing my hair. I'm trying to get the George look a little bit
Yeah,
here.
you do have kind of a
I'm
George-
trying to
yeah,
look
you-
like George.
Man, oh man, it's true. You kind of look like George for real, man. I was like, something's wrong with Dave. He's like, and
trying to
now I
look-
know, man. You're trying to look like George.
That's right. Isn't everybody? Come on,
hell?
guys.
No, man. I don't know.
So-
Like George, I want to look like Khabib.
Irreparable
listen-
damage has done irreparable damage. It's
Wow.
over, brother.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. People want to see the show now because it's so controversial. Like our show. Like,
You
I should
can't.
be able to throw in
You
some
can't.
shit about some fighters that we
YouTube-
know about.
The YouTube page has been deleted.
Listen,
Crazy.
I'm sure a lot of people want to know
Deleted.
stories. We know some stuff that hasn't been out.
I'll tell you the
We
whole
can say
story
it,
after
Dave.
the show, but I can't say it on the show. That's how crazy this is. And you guys know me.
Uh-oh.
I let everything fly on this show. I
Lauren
don't
says he
give
saw
a
the show.
fuck. I say whatever I want. Okay? Okay?
What
But
the
there's
hell,
some
man?
things that I can't say, and that's the thing I can't say. So I
Man,
can't
what's
talk
up with
about
the
it in
censorship?
detail. Yo, man.
So can't
Oh,
you go
Johnny
to another
says-
podcast?
Johnny says, bald Dave, best look. And I agree, Johnny. And I'm actually not intentionally trying to look like George. I just haven't had the time to shave my head.
Well, when George shaves his head, Dave is going to shave his head. Don't worry, Johnny. That's how it's going to work. I know, Dave.
We all trying to be like George. Some kids want to be like Mike. I want to be like George. All right, guys.
Mike Tyson.
George.
I don't know, man.
Michael Jordan,
Talk about
man.
George.
How do you... Mike Tyson? Fred, how did he not get
Yeah.
that? What generation are you from, AJ? Well, I know. A very old generation. You really see
Listen,
the
man, who wants
differences
to
in
be Michael
generation,
Jordan? I'd
you know?
rather be like Mike Tyson, man. Are you kidding me? Who's the baddest man on the planet? At one time was Iron Mike, man.
Yeah, when? 1986?
So what?
Get out of here, bro. So,
Don't mess
so
with Mike,
what?
man. He can still
So
knock.
what?
Did you ever see him?
You know how old I was in
What?
1986? 0. I was
can't-
about 6 months old. All right, get out of here with that. I turned 1 in 86.
1996?
86.
Oh, 86.
Get out of here, bro.
86,
Get out of here.
man.
with
I've
that.
already been like, you know what shit I've been through like by 86. But anyways, where were we at? Oh, talk about George. So George is saying like he hated fighting in the UFC. Like there was this whole article again. I don't know how many times he has to say it.
Who
How he
cares,
hated
bro?
fighting in the UFC.
We're not talking about that. Who cares? Oh, I didn't like fighting. Yeah, I've heard him say that a million times. He didn't like fighting, but he liked winning because it provided him the money and da-da-da-da for the lifestyle that he likes to live, and he's very happy living the lifestyle of a fighter. Oh, my God. I've heard him say this a million times, and then he says it again, and people are like, this is news. I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's not news. I've heard him say this a million
I'll tell you
times.
news about George.
Does George like
but
fighting?
I can't because
No. Does he get nervous before a fight? Yes. Does he enjoy winning fights? Yes. Does he enjoy training?
Oh, I
yes.
thought you were going to say
does he enjoy the money?
women?
Is he
Yes.
the only one? No. Like, he's not the only one, man.
No.
I'll throw out Nick Diaz. Like, at the end, you could feel like Nick Diaz didn't like fighting. To me, like, Nick Diaz, like, his final run, his interviews, he gave me the impression of a guy that didn't really want to be there, that actually, like, knows that, hey, I'm making a lot of money, this is fun, but I don't really want to be a fighter no more.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
Listen, the guy who proved it the most, our last fight that we lost all our betting odds at bet99.com was Gian Vellante. I mean, if anybody showed that he didn't want to be into a fight, was that guy. You remember, Dave? He killed our parlay, and that was the end of our winning streak.
I'll tell you what.
There's fighters that...
I'll tell you what.
What?
Now, I don't want to disrespect Ronda Rousey, but I've never seen
Dave, don't go there.
I have never seen a top-level fighter not like fighting as much as Ronda Rousey, because she liked beating people up. She liked whooping that ass in 35 seconds. That was cool. But getting into a fight, like a tough fight, challenged in MMA, forget that. She didn't like that. She went away once that happened. And that happens. I understand that. Who wants to get hurt? But some people, they like fighting. They go in there, they enjoy the fight. They enjoy the adversity and fighting through that and all of that.
Conor McGregor. There you go.
John Jones, These guys are fighters. They fight through the adversity. Amanda Nunes suffered some rough losses early in her career, came back, fought through, and now is looked at as the greatest of all time. Like, there are some people that like to fight and some people that like to beat people up for money because they're good at it. Like, I think George, I enjoyed beating people up for money, and even then, I don't think he really liked that. I think he enjoyed the money, he enjoyed the fame, he enjoyed training in martial arts, but as far as the competition, it was kind of like, well, all right, At a certain point, I think he wanted to do it. I mean, for sure, when you're starting out in your GSP, it's not like there's money in it, so there's a challenge that he wants to face, and he wants to prove that he's the best. But once he's made millions of dollars, and he's defending his welterweight title for like the 10th time, it's like, all right, well, what else is there to do? I get that. I get not wanting to fight. I get being scared to fight these animals. Like, it's tough, man. It's a tough sport. I get that. But, I don't think it's news when George says it for the 100th time.
And you know who's online? If anybody knows stories, if anybody knows like the back scenes of some of the shit that's gone on in the UFC, MMA world, jiu-jitsu world, it's our main man, Glenn McKenzie. He's online, man. Glenn, he knows stories about George.
Yeah, he says you look like in Lucky Charms box. He's making fun of you. He's watching the show, just making fun of you, as he should.
And Glenn could say what he wants, man, as he should, man. He's a black belt.
And Johnny North is saying,
black belt.
AJ, did you say that GSP doesn't enjoy women? Did you say that?
Who said that?
I don't know. Johnny said that you said that.
I don't think anybody said that. I don't know where he got that.
Johnny just confused. Maybe Johnny's trying to project his own feelings onto George. So let's get to...
Okay, Johnny, we're cool with that. We're PC here, man.
I want to preview...
It's a PC show.
I want to preview UFC on ABC 1, but before I do that, if you like women, you want to make sure that they're comfortable around your balls, right? And if they're not, it's probably because you're not manscaped. It's probably because you got some stank balls going on. You need to get your act together. You need to go to manscaped.com. You need to use the promo code Ringside20, and you get 20% off your order plus free shipping. They've got the Lawnmower 3.0. It's now available in Canada. It's got all, it's the works. It's the works of a trimmer. It will trim all your unwanted hair all over your regions, right? And you want to be smelling good. You want the ball deodorant. You want the crop reviver. You want to spritz a little of that on you. Smell fantastic, right? So then everybody that goes near your balls are like, oh, this is a fantastic experience. I enjoyed this. I might want to do this again. Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Go there. Use the promo code Ringside20. You get 20% off your whole order and free shipping. It's a very good deal. And you help out the Ringside Report Network at the same time. Manscaped.com. Promo code Ringside20. Okay? Take care of yourself. All those that go around your balls will thank you. Your balls themselves will look up at you and say, thank you. I have fantastic balls now. I smell good. I look good. All because of you. All because of Manscaped and the Ringside Report Network. Ringside Report, promo Ringside20, Manscaped.com. We're here for you. All right?
Bravo. What a great commercial, Dave. Nice.
Oh,
Nice. You don't say that, Mike Tyson.
Glenn says he would make fun of me, but my hair is just too on point. Glenn is liking my Tang GSP hair.
Exactly.
What's up, baby? That's nice hair.
But if you put some frosty tips, you look like Justin Bieber.
Ooh, yeah, frosty tips would be nice.
You'd be like totally like 80s, 90s, man. Why'd you do that? We should do a retro show one day. Come on, Dave.
You should have seen me back in the day. I used to have such cool
Glenn
hair. I had like the Eminem haircut, with the it was like bleach blonde, like
no way.
Yeah. Like Eminem in high school. I looked like that. It was cool.
Yeah. That's weird, dude.
No, it was a good look, bro.
That's cool. Yeah,
that's weird, dude.
Keep convincing yourself, Dave.
No. Look, Fred. The year was 1999, and it worked, all right? Or it might have been 2000, 2001. Believe me, bro. All right? With the 14-year-old crowd, it was working, okay? It was working.
But you didn't have Manscaped back then, so you must have had hairy, sweaty balls. So I don't know how you got through with that, but at least you bleach blonde hair. It's cool. It's cool.
I didn't hear any complaints.
I'm telling you, man.
Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar. The 80s were the best.
We're back on
I have
UFC.
I have zero recollection of the 80s. Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. I really don't. I don't remember them. Can we preview the fights? What you guys got?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's get back to a show. Come on, dude. Listen. Look. Kattar is I think he's the favorite right now.
No,
he's going in there. There's a lot
wrong
of
again. AJ coming up wrong
again.
Not? Right now, if you go over to bet99.com, you check out our friends, and if you go to bet99.com, use that promo code Ringside, you get a matching bonus of up to $250. So when you sign up, you drop in, up to $250, and Bet99 will match whatever you deposit into your account there on your sign up. So use the promo code Ringside when you sign up to Bet99. You'll be helping out the network. You'll be helping yourself out. Free money. I mean, you could drop in $250, turn it into $500 instantaneously. That's how it works over at Bet99.com. They've got Max Holloway minus 164, Calvin Kattar plus 133. So that would make Calvin Kattar the underdog, AJ. The underdog.
No, I know, and I was trying to finish off before you rudely interrupted me, but it's good that you went to bet99.com. And by the way, why don't you put that feed up so people can see the site and the odds? It would be great. So what I was getting at is that most shows and whatnot, if you look at who they were picking, a lot of picks were going towards Kattar, and I was kind of surprised. But you know what? These guys were supposed to fight about 8 years ago in 2013. That was when things were a lot different. Their records were really good. But here we are 8 years later, and Max has lost. His last two. I think his last fight was controversial loss. It was a split decision. I thought Holloway won that fight. And I think, Dave, you went the opposite way. And Freddie, I'm not sure where you went. But, I mean, here we are now. But if I'm going to look at this fight coming up this Saturday, I would put my money down on Holloway. And, Bet 99 has it right, I think.
What fight are you talking about where we took Holloway or what?
It was with
The last
Volkanovski
fight.
Yeah. His second
sure I
fight
had
where it was a split.
winning that one.
I thought Holloway
I-
would
I-
have had fun.
51.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
thought-
Maybe Volkanovski. I don't
I'll
remember
go
how he
back.
scored it. It was a close fight, though.
No, I gave it.
And I see Holloway as
but-
still a guy, still in his prime, still championship level. He just went through 2 fights with Volkanovski, who is the champion. He lost them both by decision, very close fights. The reason why they did it again immediately was because the first one was so close. I think Holloway is still young, still dangerous, 29 years old, which is crazy that he's been champion, lost the title, been in the UFC since 2012, almost 10 years in the UFC, and he's not even 30 years old. I mean, that's nuts,
Crazy.
the career that he's had. But, who's beat him? Volkanovski and Dustin Poyet when Holloway went up to 155. Other than that, Holloway's beaten everybody, including Frankie Edgar, including Brian Ortega, including Jose Aldo. So Calvin Kattar is good. Calvin Kattar, he's a dangerous guy. He's good all around, but I don't think he's going to be able to be good enough for Max Holloway. I think it's going to go the distance, though. I got Holloway by decision.
No, this is going to be This is going to be like fireworks. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but I got Holloway, right?
I got Holloway also by decision. I'm just going to say, after his 2 Jose Aldo win and his win against Ortega, Holloway was he was so hot on the pound for pound, people were talking about him as one of the greats, and then he had lost 3 of his last 4. So unfortunately, the momentum has been killed a little bit on Holloway. But I still believe in him. I think his place is at 145, and Volkanovski's the champ right now. But the last fight was pretty close. Holloway, if he could put a couple of impressive wins, could probably earn another title shot against Volkanovski. So I still believe in Holloway. And like you said, he's still very young. And not so long ago, at the end of 2018, that win over Ortega was super impressive. And people were sold on Holloway being a top level fighter, one of the best out there. So I still believe in Holloway. I hope he wins. And Calvin Kattar, Kattar, like I like to say, decent fighter. I don't think he's at the level of Holloway, though.
Look,
yeah,
Dave,
that's exactly what I think, Fred. I feel exactly the same way. I think he's good. I don't think he's Holloway level. I think he's very good. I don't think he's championship level like Holloway still is.
Look, I'm going to tell you one thing. This is the first non-title fight for Holloway. And you were saying, Freddie, 3 of his last 4. Let's not forget that there were 2 different weight divisions. You're talking featherweight. He went up to lightweight, and the featherweight fight with
Poyet.
I'm sorry, the lightweight fight with Dustin Poyet.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great fight. I mean, look, he lost by decision. His last fight against Volkanovski, I believe that Holloway won. And you know what? Things happen. But I was looking at the stare down today, and I can tell you, man, Holloway looks like a much bigger fighter than Kattar or Kattar, or whatever you want to call him. And you know what? There's one thing with Holloway, and you're right. He was regarded as probably being one of the best fighters out there. And he still is. He's only 29 years old, like you said, Dave. This guy has so much fighting left in him, and this is one guy who likes to fight. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we had concerns with him in the past with his weight cuts and crazy interviews where he was off kilter, and people had to look at his medical health and whatnot. But overall, man, when Max Holloway is on his game and he's healthy and he's looking to fight, this guy is unstoppable. So there's no reason. I see this guy winning the fight and winning it impressively. It might go to decision, but you know what? Holloway is the type of guy that could knock out Kattar, because Kattar, if I'm not mistaken, he's been knocked out I think twice.
Never.
I think he was knocked out twice.
Never.
You gotta look at that.
Right, AJ.
I'm looking at it right now.
Wait.
Never.
Let me
Never
take
been
a look.
knocked out.
I thought he was knocked out twice in his
Submitted
last
once.
fights.
Finished only once by submission. He's lost 4 fights,
pa, pa,
3 by
pa.
decision,
Oy.
1 by submission. Wrong again.
Typical
AJ.
AJ.
You're right.
Classic
Okay,
AJ.
so I apologize on
Yeah,
that.
that's
I was
why
on a
I've
good roll
got
there until I thought
Holloway
the knockout.
by decision because it's really tough
Okay.
to put away Calvin Kattar. He is still one of the top 145ers on the planet, but I don't think he's quite up to Holloway level. I think Holloway will outpoint him on the feet. Kattar is more of a guy who lands power punches. I don't think those power punches will hit their mark on Holloway. He's too tough. His chin is too good. Calvin Kattar, to win this fight, is going to have to put Max Holloway down. I think Holloway is going to win this fight on points. He'll land more, and he'll just win a decision. All right, AJ?
Look, I
Okay,
honestly,
AJ?
I thought Zabit like knocked him out for some reason. I thought he won by knockout. So that's where I was getting at. But I just checked it up. It was a decision. It's way back, man. AJ can't remember way back. But I remember that, that Holloway, his last fight, and I remember it very well.
AJ
I thought
can't
he won
remember
that
way
fight.
back. AJ's getting old, baby. AJ can't remember way back. All right, let's go to
drinking Corona,
Condit.
It helps you.
Let's go to Condit
Tell me.
versus Brown. Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown. I like this. Last time we saw Carlos Condit fight, he won for the first time in 5 years, beating Court McGee by decision. And that fight was on the prelims. It was the main event of the prelim card. And I was like, wow, Carlos Condit, former challenger, main evented a pay-per-view at the Bell Center against GSP for the welterweight title. He's on the prelim card now. But now here, he's in a co-main event of a UFC card on ABC. This seems about right for Carlos Condit. The guy is a star. He's a legend of the sport. Matt Brown, also, a tough guy, a star of the sport. He's got a big following. People like Matt Brown. This is a fight that they tried to put together many times before. These guys have been circling each other for a long time. I think if this fight happened 5-6 years ago, it would have been way more hype. It would have meant more for the welterweight division, certainly. And it might have been a better fight because these guys would have been in their prime. Matt Brown now, 40 years old, has lost. Well, he won his last fight, so that's or did he? No, he lost. He lost his last fight. He's lost 4 of his last 6 at 40 years of age. Carlos Condit is a little younger, 36 years old. He's lost 5 of his last 6, but he did pick up a win in his last fight after a couple years away from the sport. These guys are definitely not who they once were, but
I still want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
We talk about sometimes veterans and all that. I think these guys are not in the title picture at all. Matt Brown only fought 3 times in the last 4 years. He's been a little bit inactive. But at the same time, like you say, both guys have a following, and I'm happy. This is a type of matchup that still interests me. So it's a fun fight. I'm going to go with Carlos Condit, that I think is a better overall fighter. But Matt Brown is a grinder. Like, he'll bring it to Condit. This is probably going to be a stand-up war, and some guy's going to bleed. Maybe both guys are going to bleed. And I'm going to go with Carlos Condit by decision in a spectacular fight.
Yeah, I hope it's a good fight. I really do. I'm going with Carlos Condit for the win as well. He is the odds maker's favorite, minus 175. Condit, Brown, plus 142. So going with the favorite here again. I'm just wondering on how this will end. Fred, you said a decision, and that I feel that does make sense because I'm not sure Carlos has what it takes to put guys away anymore. But Matt Brown, his last 5 fights have ended by knockout. Either he gets knocked out or he knocks you out. He got knocked out by Jake Ellenberger. He got knocked out by Donald Cerrone. Then he knocked out Diego Sanchez. He knocked out Ben Saunders. Then he got knocked out in his last fight by Miguel Baeza. So this dude is not usually going to the distance. The last time Matt Brown fought to a decision was when he lost to Johnny Hendricks back in March of 2015. So generally doesn't lose by decision. However, he's fighting Carlos Condit, can Condit put him away? That's the only question mark in my mind is, I got Condit, but do I have him by decision or knockout? And Fred going by decision makes sense, but I'm going to say Condit puts this guy away because Matt Brown gets knocked out a whole hell of a lot. So I'm going to go with Condit by knockout.
Look, you said it best, Dave. He goes into fight. Either he knocks out or he gets knocked out, and that's the thing with Brown. He goes to war. The only thing is that he's 40 years old. If this was like way, way back, man, when they were in their prime, it would have been an amazing, amazing fight. But here we are in 2021. They're fighting. It's going to be an exciting fight. But I think, Brown doesn't have like that rock jaw anymore like he used to. And you know that Condit, when he throws those elbows, and he's put up Condit, man. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this, is that I think it's going to be a KO or a TKO or whatever, and I think Carlos is going to win it. Condit.
Okay. Next we have Santiago the Skin Ponzinibio taking on Li Jinglang out of China. Li Jinglang coming off a decision loss to Neil Magny, and Santiago Ponzinibio coming off a knockout win over Neil Magny. We haven't seen Santiago since 2018. This was a guy who was one of the top welterweights in the world, and what happened? Where'd he go? Did he get hurt? Where's he been? Different things. Staph infection at one point in 2019. He had a staph infection. He was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler. Then he was supposed to fight Muslim Salikov. Oh, that was here. Li Jinglang is the replacement. But man, it's been a long time. I don't know why Santiago Ponzinibio has been so inactive.
Well, he had injuries, Dave, and they just carried on. That's the problem with this guy in his career. It happens, but he's back, and he's dangerous.
He's the favorite big time, minus 312 over at bet99.com. Santiago Ponzinibio, minus 312. Li Jinglang, plus 245. Li Jinglang coming off a loss to Magny here, but that was in March of 2020. That was by decision. Before that, he won 3 straight. He's a tough guy, and I wonder, should he be such a big underdog in this fight against Ponzinibio, considering Ponzinibio hasn't fought in 2 years?
Good point.
And he's not a young man.
The thing is,
he's not young. He's 34. And 34 is a young man in life, but in fighting, you're old. I mean, 34 is younger than I am. 34 is younger than all of us now, guys. I mean, at this point, a couple years on the show, I'd be like, 34, that's older than me. Now I can't say that anymore. Okay, so 34 is younger than all of us, but in fighting, he's old, right? And Li Jinglang is 32. He's like still in his prime. So 34, 2 years off, you wonder about a guy. And when he's coming in as such a heavy favorite, like, I wouldn't bet on him.
Well, look, it gave him 2 years to recover. It gave him 2 years to sit back. I mean, that's the difference. He wasn't fighting, so he's not like MMA aged. And Jinglang there, this guy is like hot and cold. He has hot streaks, but yes, he's like a physical threat, man. He's a very well-rounded fighter. When I seen him fight like when he started in the UFC, I'm like, wow, this guy is something. And he still is something. But let's not forget, Ponzinibio, when he fights, man, this guy's an aggressive fighter. He's coming out, and he's going to knock, I hate to say it, he's going to knock the lights out of, like, Li Jinglang back to China. Guaranteed.
I'm going with Ponzinibio by decision. You like him by knockout. Freddie, where are you going on this fight?
Yep.
Ponzinibio by knockout.
All right.
Good move.
Joaquin Buckley, who had a sick knockout last time around, he takes on Alessio Di Chirico from Rome, Italy. And I wonder, AJ, where you will pick here. Di Chirico plus 220, Buckley minus 278, the favorite. Buckley scored that beautiful knockout, and Kanye West used it for a music video in his last fight. Amazing. I've got Buckley by knockout again here.
I got a feeling that you don't pronounce it well, Dave. Say it
Oh
again.
yeah,
The Chirico.
Alessio De Chirico.
All right, go ahead, AJ. Tell us how you
It's
pronounce
okay,
that.
man. It's okay. That's the way they would say it in England. So Dave is kind of right.
The
But I'm going to tell you, man.
Cheerios. Honey Nut
The Cheerios.
Honey
Cheerios.
nut.
Listen, man. One thing for sure, when it comes to the wrestling aspect of the game, Alessio has it. But the thing with Buckley is that this guy is the up and coming like superstar, super athlete, man. He's exciting, and this is a setup fight. What are you talking about, Dave? Of course, man. He's an up and
Superstar.
comer, and I would say a superstar. Dana White thinks he's going to be a superstar, and Dana White is like right behind him, pushing him as much as he can. And this is the fight because if he could beat Alessio, who's a very competent fighter, and he can fight him off, and I don't think he's going to knock out Alessio. I don't think he's going to submit Alessio, but I think it's going to go the distance, and I think Buckley's going to win this by decision, and it's going to be another notch for people to know who this Buckley guy is, and you can see all his highlights. The guy is amazing. Hello.
I don't know.
Come on,
Dave. I think he's good. I don't think he's gonna be a world
Dave.
champion in the UFC. I don't know. I think he's good.
Well, he'll be up there.
But, Kevin Holland beat him last year, and I think Kevin Holland has more of a chance of being the next big superstar in the middleweight division, at least. This is not at middleweight, though, right? Oh, no, it is. Yeah, I like Holland.
Yeah, it's a middleweight.
Kevin Holland is a beast. Like, you want to talk about the next superstar 185, I think it's Kevin Holland. I don't think it's Buckley. But Buckley's good, too. I like Buckley. I like Buckley's Angel.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I know Buckley's. You take it as a cough medicine,
Buckley. He was Luann's
Oh,
boyfriend on King of the Hill, and then he died, and there was Buckley's Angel on the trampoline.
I thought you were talking about Charlie's Angels.
He got blown up in the Megalomart. Somebody out there is understanding what I'm talking about. King of the Hill, man. Great
I have
show.
no idea.
Buckley's
What?
Angel.
Never
Anyways,
watched it.
I thought you were talking about Charlie's Angels.
so Buckley's
I thought you were talking about
Angel
Charlie's.
is going to put the Cheerios to sleep. No more honey, no more nuts. Sleep time for the Cheerios. Right? We all got Buckley by knockout? No?
No, I said by decision, man. Buckley by decision.
Oh,
There's
okay,
no way he's
fine.
knocking out Alessio. I'm sorry, but
All right. Punahele Soriano is 7-0. He takes on 10-0. Punahele Soriano takes on Dusko Todorovic. These guys are going to be opening the card on ABC. Somebody's O's got to go. Two guys undefeated. Dusko 10-0. Punahele is 7-0. And that's going to be the opener on ABC coming up on Saturday afternoon right at 3 p.m. Right now, it is Punahele plus 131 the dog. Dusko minus 161 the favorite. I've got Dusko by decision. All right? And I'm going to give you another pick for the card. A prelim pick. There's a pick'em fight. At least it was pick'em before on bet99.com. They have it as a slight favorite.
Sarah Moras.
No, I'm going to go with Jocelyn Edwards, who has as a slight underdog right now, minus 109. Wu Yanan, minus 112, slight favorite. A pick 'em on a lot of sports books. Bet99 giving you a little value with Edwards as a slight underdog. I like Jocelyn Edwards over Wu Yanan to win that fight. And also, Vanessa Mello plus 180. I think there's value in taking her over the minus 222 Sarah Morris. I'd go there.
They're picking Mello over Moras?
Yeah.
You took Mellos over Moras?
Yep.
I don't know about that, man. I'll go on the opposite on that pick. But I'll tell you what, I was surprised you didn't go with Phil Haas. He's pretty much looks like a solid pick to get. He's the main event on the preliminary card. So I agree with you with the Edwards, not Edwards. The Edwards card. That for sure is a good pick. So if
All
you're going
right,
with the
fine.
parlay, I would go with Moraes, Edwards, and Haas. If you're
More
going to go
ass,
with a
eh?
preliminary
You'd
pick.
go with more ass?
Moraes. Hey,
Why
who doesn't
wouldn't you
want
go with more
Moraes?
ass? Yeah, that's a good
Everybody
pick.
wants Moraes.
Good pick. Way to
You
go with
know,
more
Heavy
ass.
D liked Moraes. I saw the documentary. He liked heavy.
more ass. Heavyweight fighters coming up in March. Big fight. Heavyweights, they got big asses because they're big dudes. Ciro Gann taking on Jairzinho Rosenstruck, two guys that pack a major punch. They will be fighting March 13th for the UFC, so that's a big one. And Leon Edwards and Khamzat Chimaev also going to be pushed to that card on March 13th for the UFC. And UFC, we have another card coming up on Wednesday. So before our next show, guys, we're here every Thursday at 8 p.m., but next Wednesday morning, there will be fights too, right? It starts at what, 9 a.m., right?
Yeah, it would be like noon, the actual main card. So starting at 9, the prelims, noon is the main card. So it's going to be a tough one to watch. No, I do know. It's going to be a tough one to watch if you're at work.
Yeah.
But majority of people are not working here in Quebec anyways.
Well, you're working from home.
A good thing. No, I'm not working from home. I'm actually working downtown in like the ghost town.
Okay.
So I've got no choice to make my way to.
I'm saying a lot of people
Montreal.
are working from home. You could take a little break ski to watch the UFC. It'll be Michael Chiesa versus Neil Magny in the main event. Warley Alves versus Munir Lazez in the co-main.
I grappled with Munir.
All right.
He came. Well, Munir actually just quickly. I mean, this guy is like. He's an amazing fighter. His record is 10-1. 10-1-0. I mean, this guy, I've grappled with him. He's trained here in Montreal, and they call him the laser because his striking, man, is exactly that. So if you're going to put your money down on that fight, put it down on Munir. And you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to watch that guy fight, and he's an awesome, nice guy on top of it. Super nice guy.
What's your pick for the main event? Chiesa plus 110, Magny minus 130, the favorite. I'd go with Chiesa, I think. I might go with Chiesa in that one.
You know what? Every time we go against Neil Magny, he wins. Listen, we did that the last time, and we went with the opposite of Neil Magny, and we lost. So I said it the last time. I said every time Neil fights, I'm going with him because he always is underlooked. And if the bookmakers are taking him as the favorite, I'm going with that. Magny for the win.
Chiesa's been looking good. I'm going to go with Michael Chiesa. Freddie's going with Chiesa, too.
You're going to regret it.
Those fights going down next Wednesday morning. Freddie, as our morning UFC analyst, as the main morning UFC guy, how are you feeling going into 2 straight UFC shows that will all end before 4 in the afternoon? They'll all be all said and done. Well, I guess the 3 p.m. show won't be done, right? The 3 p.m. show will be done. It'll start at 3 because this Saturday, I guess the show starts at 3 on ABC. It'll probably end around 6, maybe around 5 or 6. So everything's going to be done by dinner time, right? Normally everything goes so late, Fred, but for you, you're an early riser. You must be pretty hyped about 2 straight UFC cards on in the daytime. This next one, prelims start at noon, main card at 3, and then next Wednesday, prelims start at 9, main card starts at noon, according to AJ, which I believe him now. I think he's right.
Of course I'm right.
The one from this weekend, I'm probably just going to watch the main card. I mean, I still have family and all of that. You know, you got to spend time with the family. But I'm definitely going to watch Holloway, the main event, and most of the main card. But the one on Wednesday, like 9 a.m., I'm down for that. Give me some week 9 a.m. Like my daughter's at daycare. I work from home. I got multiple screens here. I could watch a lot of fights at the same time. Like, give me that. I'm down for that. More Wednesday 9 a.m. shows.
I like it. And then, you know what? The following week, we're a week away from Conor. And you're going to have to stay up late for that one, Freddie, because we're doing a watch-along for UFC 257, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poyet. It's on in a week. Next week, we'll be here previewing UFC 257. Next week, we'll be here talking about a Conor McGregor fight. That's exciting.
Damn right, it's exciting.
Damn. Well, the rest of the card is not that great. But hey, Conor's in the main event, so yeah. And we'll be doing a watch-along to keep you occupied and busy and entertained during some of those not-so-great pay-per-view fights. Some of the fights are very good on pay-per-view. Some of the fights are not so good. I'll let you decide which ones I'm talking about, all right? I'm not going to disparage anybody specifically. Let's just say I'm not super hyped about the whole pay-per-view card, but the main event, of course, amazing with Conor McGregor there. And we will be there Saturday night, January 23rd at 10 p.m. Eastern to watch the whole UFC pay-per-view here with you for a UFC 257 watch-along. We haven't done one of these things in a while, man. It feels like so long since we've done a watch-along, so I'm hyped to do it. I'm hyped to be back.
I'm hyped to be able to do a watch-along when we're, like, in studio all together. Because, like, I love the watch-alongs, but it's not the same, man. We can't, like, get into, like, a lot of the fighting and everything that we do when we're all together in, like, studio.
Well,
but
it's super illegal now to do anything, right? You can't even be outside right now. We are currently in a curfew where we live in the province of Quebec. We are in a
Am I allowed to go out to smoke?
If you're
allowed to go on your balcony.
If you're on your own property, yeah.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah, you can be outside on your own property. That's okay, Fred. That's totally legal. You're allowed to be outside on your own property. You're just not allowed to go off your property.
You can't walk your. No, you can't. You can walk your dog, and you're allowed up to 1 kilometer. So
yeah.
I mean, who the hell walks a kilometer with their dog?
If you have a dog,
it's around the corner, and you're back in.
If you don't have a dog, you're not allowed to leave.
Well, somebody tried to pull the "I'm going to walk my cat" bit, and apparently that's been shot down.
I have been out.
That was my whole joke when we got in.
I have been out past curfew for a couple nights. It's been
Where'd you go, David?
empty, quiet. I went home after work. I was working at
but
night.
You're allowed to. You have a letter, right?
I have a letter.
You carry it with you?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you carry it because you're going to get the Billy bat over
papers?
the head, man.
Yeah, I got your papers. That's right.
All right.
I got a letter
What
in
does
the
it
car.
say? Does it say?
I keep it in the glove box.
You better, man, because you're going to get it's only going to be me and Freddie on the show next week.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And it's weird being out after curfew because, like, the streets are very empty. You feel like you're, I don't know. It's like you're the only person out there. You drive slow because like people are cops are gonna, like, they're just looking for a reason to stop you. But I haven't been stopped. I've seen a couple cop cars as I'm driving around. I see cops. They don't stop me. They don't even look at me. They don't slow down. Nothing.
What?
No, man.
That's impossible, man.
Well, look, because there's enough cars going out. Like, I'm downtown. I'm on the highway and stuff, and I'm seeing a bunch of traffic. There's cars. There are enough people out there that the cops can't stop everybody. There's people doing deliveries. There's so many people that are working at night that have full reason to go out and work and be outside at night that the cops can't stop everybody. So, I was a little nervous before, but now that I've been out past curfew and seen how it is, it's normal. It's nothing. I'm not worried.
Aren't we lucky?
Yeah, it's fine.
Aren't we lucky? Well, the rest of us have
to
stay in and do squat, man, and watch Netflix. Over and over of Netflix. By the way, I ended the series
what a sacrifice.
of Cobra Kai, which was...
What a sacrifice. You have to watch quality television. You're entertained. This is the best time in human history to live under pandemic law because we have more entertainment and access to a variety of ways to entertain ourselves more than ever in history, man. We have YouTube. We have shows like this.
But that's what I was trying to get at. It's like, great, yeah. But once you get onto a series and it ends, you have to wait till next year. I mean, you got to wait till next year. When it wasn't a pandemic, you watch an episode once a week, and But once you're like binging, like I did with Cobra Kai, which I'm like, awesome show. I mean, it's like the best ever. I gotta wait till next year to find out what happens with with Cobra Kai, man. With Daniel.
I'm not surprised you watched that.
Have you seen it?
I liked it.
It's like amazing. It's really good.
It's very good, but it's not.
Come on, Dave. Oh, it's up there, man. It's up there.
It's for you guys that grew up with
what?
Karate Kid. I didn't grow up with that.
You know what? Wait.
What?
Let me go political, man. This guy that's about my age on Facebook the other day posted a thing that goes like Johnny Lawrence. He's like the star of the show, and they're like the reason people love Johnny Lawrence is because exactly, because he's from that last generation where people didn't all get offended. Like he sees some weirdo coming into his gym, he calls him out, man. Love Johnny Lawrence, man.
Johnny is the best.
Marshmallow, like he's the anti-marshmallow generation.
And you know what's funny? He has to like get used to a lot of stuff, and he's freaking out because he actually I'm not sure if he called them marshmallows
He's the best.
or he called them pansies or something like that. But it was funny. But Dave, listen, man, The Karate Kid was like an '80s icon film, and you know what? The way it captures like the follow-up to The Karate Kid, everybody hated Johnny at the end and whatever. But when you watch this series, man, I'm like totally Cobra Kai. I'm a Johnny guy, man. I want to join his gym. And not to take away from Daniel, because Daniel's an awesome guy, awesome actor. But if you're left stranded like I am now because the series ended at season, what is it now?
I might be a Kreese guy, man.
Kreese is crazy,
pushed
man.
That guy to the snakes, man. Kreese, man. Love Kreese.
Now, Kreese is nuts. But then you feel sorry for him because he was bullied his whole life, and he got picked on. And you know what? Like, you feel sorry for everybody.
Bullied?
But then at some point you get... No, but he was bullied when he was young. He was bullied when he was working in some like burger shop and whatnot. And then he ended up going to go work for the army, and he became like some black
crazy
snake, I don't know what it is, a Cobra Kai, whatever, like military dude, which was cool. But the thing is that the series itself is like fantastic. Dave won't know this stuff. Dave is into this new generational stuff, like. Justin Timberlake and all this kind of stuff. Or
Dave watched
69 guy.
Man.
What?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Dave's not into the real Karate Kid. What do you think George St. Pierre dresses?
That's your generation, Dave.
I don't know what that is.
No?
I watch Ninja Turtles,
karate.
Okay? Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. You know what? Johnny
cool.
Lawrence would kick the shit out of the Ninja Turtles.
I don't think so. Wasn't he? Is he a human? Is he a human? Because these turtles are... There's 4 of them. They're mutants and they're turtles, and they know and they're ninjas. They're ninja turtles. They don't just know karate. They're ninjas. It's better.
Listen, Johnny Lawrence can get smashed with
they've got more energy. These Karate Kid guys sound super old.
Listen, Johnny Lawrence could drink like a case of beer. Yeah, exactly. He could drink a case of beer.
Have you seen the body on the Ninja Turtles? Jacked to the gills, bro. Those guys are jacked. Are you kidding? You can't fuck with a Ninja Turtle.
Johnny Lawrence looks good, man, for his age. Hey, Freddie, doesn't Johnny look good? He looks awesome, man. And I love his car. His Cobra Kai car was awesome.
The young kids, they got some nice fighting scenes, but Johnny and Daniel, man, I'm not sure about those fighting scenes. Plus, as much as I love Kreese, his fighting scenes are clearly not him fighting. So they got a stunt double for him because he's too old to be actually fighting.
But he looks good. I like Kreese, man. You're right. There's something about him that you're like, man, he's a piece of shit. But there's something about him that he's old school martial arts, man. That's the way it was, Dave, back in the 80s. It's not like today that you get a belt.
Never.
Yeah, you get a belt just because you're like, sir, can I get my black belt? And they give it to you. That shit doesn't happen. Actually, in jiu-jitsu, it doesn't happen nowadays. Because if you ask your coach, like, I want my black belt, it's too bad Glenn, I don't know if Glenn is still on, but I don't think any of his students ever went up to him and say, listen, give me my belt. Because I think Glenn would kick the crap out of them. But, it's different. I'll be honest. Martial arts, too, has, like, really changed. I'm saying from my perspective, like, training in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, I've seen a lot of change in martial arts. No, but Dave, it's true. No. Dave, Freddie's right, man. There's a lot of, like, marshmallow martial art masters. And we've seen it on McDojo. We see some of this crazy shit that goes on where you've got, like, students, like, galore, like maybe 100 students with some, like, McDojo master.
AJ Vortex.
No. Listen, man, we were talking about Cobra Kai. I'm getting back to it. Old school.
I'm not talking about Cobra Kai.
The best.
You guys have been talking about Cobra Kai. I've been sitting here being like, what the hell are these 2 old guys talking about, reminiscing about Karate Kid from the 80s?
Listen, man,
Fred, you're supposed to be on my team. Fred, you're supposed to be on my team. When I was like, oh, of course AJ is watching Cobra Kai, show for the old guys, you were supposed to be like, yeah, AJ, you're so old because Fred is in between ages.
Wax on.
Fred's a little older than me,
Wax off.
but he's much younger than AJ. So Fred's supposed to be on my side when it comes to these generational issues. But for some reason, sometimes Fred is on AJ's side, the old guy side, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what you guys are talking about with your old guy styles, your Van Halen music, your afro hair, or whatever the hell you're wearing with your mullets and your Karate Kid
Guns N' Roses, man.
and your Johnny Mercury's or whatever your guys' names are. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay,
Johnny Mercury.
I know Ninja Turtles. I know Dr. Dre. I know Eminem. I know about Fred Durst. All right, I'm not trying to hear about anything else.
Listen, how's Dr. Dre doing?
I know about Playboy Cardi. I know about rappers. I know about current rappers. I know Travis Scott. I know about those guys. All right. I know that guy YFN Lucci's going to jail, bro. YFN Lucci murdered a motherfucker. What the fuck is going on, YFN?
The Gambino family, or
nah? YFN Lucci is a dumb ass rapper who fucking threw a guy. Allegedly, shot and threw a guy like off a van, like out of a rolling van. YFN Lucci, because he's like a big rapper in the game. He's a well-known rapper, and
never heard of him.
And he turned himself in to authorities, I think, today, and it was making news because he was wanted on a murder charge, and it's like, this guy's got money, he's got a big career. And he killed a guy for no reason, allegedly. Fucking stupid YFN Lucci. See, this is what I know about. I don't know about the goddamn Karate Kid and goddamn hair metal from the 80s.
Listen, man, that's the difference with old school. You don't see Guns N' Roses throwing fucking people and murdering them. Man, they murder them with music and love and rock and roll, man. And we're talking like old school beer. None of this fancy like twist like champagne and fruit juice that you guys drink nowadays. We're talking old school Cobra Kai stuff, Dave.
Champagne and fruit juice.
We're drinking. I've gone down to Corona. You know how bad that is? But I'm doing this for like Jason because in Mexico, I support the Mexican beer.
This show's
Where we
over.
at, by the way?
This show's over. I'm ending.
Oh man, you gotta watch Cobra Kai, man. You made me watch 90 Day Fiancé. You gotta watch Cobra Kai.
You guys should watch
Which is a good show, by the way.
It's good.
Did you watch that Operation Odessa on Netflix? Do you watch that?
No.
You ever watch Fargo?
No.
Yeah, of course.
Fargo season 2 is incredible, man.
Yeah.
I watched that recently.
No,
I started watching the new season with Chris Rock. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in. It's a new season. It's like, I think it just ended or whatever. I'm a few episodes in. I have them all on my PVR. I'm getting through it. It's pretty good. But yeah, Fargo's a great show. But documentary on Netflix you guys would both like. It's about guys that sell boats and helicopters and even a submarine, a Russian military submarine. These guys in Miami sell this shit to the Colombian cocaine cartels. And it is the fucking greatest documentary you will ever see. It's on Netflix. It's called Operation Odessa. AJ and Freddie. I'm telling you, you guys specifically would love it. But that's my recommendation for you guys. Not goddamn Cobra Kai.
No. I'm going to tell you something.
I know it's popular, but
nothing can get more like, for sure it's for you, Dave.
It's not for me.
For you, man. Just
I've never seen Karate Kid. I don't get the references. I'm not into it.
That's pretty sad, dude. That's really sad. But that's okay, man. We can understand. That's
keep
why,
crying.
like, that's okay, dude. That's why you would get ruffled if someone would say something nasty. Like, by the way, your hair looks a little like too pointy, and you'll start crying. That shit doesn't happen to old school, like we don't get offended, dude. We don't get offended. You don't see me and Freddie get offended.
You see me crying? What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
You see, here we go. Hey, listen. I was going to say something.
What are you talking about?
You're talking about Colombian cartels and all that. You know what was reminding me now? Back of the old days. Did you ever watch the movie Scarface?
Bye, AJ.
Come on, Dave.
Follow
Scarface.
us. Go to ringsidereport.net.
Say hello to my little friend.
Go to ringsidereport.net. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. When you subscribe, click the bell so you get notifications every time we are on. Join us. Become a member of the channel. We appreciate you. Please join us as a member of the Ringside Report team. Become a member of the YouTube channel right now. And don't forget to go to merch.ringsidereport.net, just like our friend our
Ooh.
friend, Brian did. Brian sent us a
Thank you,
Brian. Brian Firth sent us a picture of him wearing the Ringside Report mask that he bought.
So why don't you post it?
Hold on. Shut the fuck up, AJ.
Be good to your fans, man.
Here we go, you motherfucker.
Where?
There he is.
What?
There's Brian.
Wow, that is cool, man.
And there's the mask. He's wearing the Ringside Report mask right there. There's Brian Firth. He went to merch.ringsidereport.net and he picked himself up the official Ringside Report mask. So we thank you, Brian, for supporting the team. He sent us a picture.
Looks good.
He says that, let me read, I got his quote here about the mask. What did he say? He said, it's the best
It looks like bread.
mask I have used. And we are almost a year into the pandemic. You know a lot of people are using masks. Brian says it's the best mask I have used. Send us a picture. He said, put that up. So thank you, Brian, for buying the mask. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. Get yourself a mask. There's going to be more merch coming up on the website for you to purchase. Merch.ringsidereport.net. Go there. Get the mask like Brian did. We appreciate you. Donate.ringsidereport.net as well if you want to support. Follow AJ at Danny Brook on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Freddie at Freddie MMA. For Freddie and AJ, I'm Dave. This has been Ringside Report MMA. I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m., right after SmackDown for Wrestling Uncensored with Johnny North. See ya.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Ringside Report started on the radio, added podcasts, and moved to video in 2019. Our hosts are not just fans, but have in-depth knowledge of the subjects. Become a member of our YouTube channel now and become a recurring supporter of our work as we strive to continue to entertain you in these strange times. Pro wrestler Johnny Genesis North joins lifelong wrestling fan and aficionado Dave Simon to host our pro wrestling programming with in-depth coverage of the WWE, AEW, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Our flagship show, Wrestling Uncensored, is live every Friday right after WWE SmackDown. Here, you get a review of the week that was. You may not agree with our host. In fact, they often don't agree with each other. But you have an opportunity to chime in with your viewpoint in the chat rooms while live or in the comments section of YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook on the replay. Dave and Johnny also headline our coverage of major pro wrestling pay-per-views and breaking news. Dave Simon is joined by experienced jiu-jitsu fighters Fred Garcia and the ever-unpredictable AJ D'Alessio, each Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern with Ringside Report MMA. They try and foresee what's next in the octagon and review, argue, and kibitz in a very friendly, irreverent manner. The three guys also team up to accompany you on all the major UFC pay-per-views with entertaining watch-alongs. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.